and girls. Okay, I want to talk to you today about 4.4G, which is basically mental math, and it's about estimating with divisions using thousands, 10,000s, and numbers that end with zero. So I'm going to go over a little bit of the guided practice today. It says, in 1 and 2, use patterns to find each quotient. Again, if you need your multiplication chart, pull your multiplication chart out. But at this point, you need to know your multiplication facts in order to do the opposite operation, which we talked about yesterday. Remember your related facts. Subtraction relates to addition. Multiplication relates to division. So, when I look at this first one, I know 28 divided by 7. Well, think to yourself, okay, what times 7 gives me 28? Well, the answer is 4. You're exactly right. So 28 divided by 7 gives me 4. Okay? Now, think about when we were multiplying and what happened when we added another 0, because you're moving one place over on the place value chart. So if you have 280, think of it as, okay, I am dividing into 28 again. So 28 divided by 7. Again, what times 7 gives me 28? Well, the answer is 4. But remember, you're not dividing into 28, you're dividing into 280. So you would add a 0 to your 4, which would make it 40. If you wanted to check yourself, you could say, well, 7 times 40. 7 times 4 is 28. Remember, you bring the 28 over and you bring the extra 0 over. And that, of course, is going to give you the 280. Now, if we take it one step further and we move one more place over on the place value chart, and we have 2,800 divided by 7. Again, think about 7 divided into the 2-digit number. What times 7 is going to give me 28? Okay, again, the answer is 4. But remember, we're not dealing with 28. We're dealing with 2,800. So instead of just the number 4, we would bring over those 2 zeros, and the answer would be 400. Okay, I want you to look at this one right here and see if you can do this one on your own, and we'll talk about it in just a minute. Okay, let's look at it. So when we looked at this, we said, okay, 64 divided by 8. What times 8, because 8 is going to be one of my factors, what times 8 will give me 64? Who knows that? Okay, you're right. It's 8. So here's my 8 right here. Now, I'm going to move it one more place over on the place value chart from the tens place to the hundreds place. Now, 640 divided by 8. Again, think about that single divisor into the 64. So 8 times what is going to give me 64? Because it's a related fact. Okay, you're right. It is the answer 8. But remember, we didn't divide into 64. We divided into 640. And if that's the case, we know that we have to bring that 0 over. And instead of 8, it's 80. And I can check myself by going, okay, 80 times 8. Well, I know 8 times 8 is 64. And I bring that other 0 over, that 1 0 over, and it gives me 640. And then the last one, I know again, 64. What times 8 gives me 64? Okay, you're right. Again, it's 8. But I'm not talking about 64. I'm talking about 6,400. So I'm going to bring both those zeros over, and my answer is 800. So these are just mentally ways to find your quotient using your divisor and your dividend. 6,400 is your dividend, 8 is your divisor, 800 is your quotient. So let's look at number 3. How is dividing 320 by 4 like dividing 32 by 4? Well, you've taken 32 and you've moved it just one place over on the place value chart. So if you know what 32 divided by 4 is, let's see, 4 times what is going to give me 32? Okay, you're right, it is 8. So if I said 32 divided by 4 equals 8, then I said 320 divided by 4. Again, I know I'm going to divide 4 into 32. And I know that the answer is 8. But because I moved one place over on the place value chart, and I went from the tens place to the hundreds place, I'm going to bring that 0 over, and the answer becomes 80. All right, I want you to try number 4 by yourself. Or with your partner, whichever one your teacher's allowing you to do. Give you a second. Okay, let's look at this. Jose orders 240 binders and divides them. Remember, dividing is you're putting them in equal groups. So he divides them among 4 classes, just like we might do in 4th grade. How many binders will each class get? That's the first question. And what basic fact did you use? In other words, what were the factors that you used in order to get this answer? So, I know he has 240 binders. I know he's going to divide them into 4 classes. Okay, when I look at this, the simple fact that I'm looking at is 24. That is my dividend. That is what I'm going to divide out. My 4 is the divisor. Well, I'm thinking to myself, okay, what times 4 is going to get me 24? And if I know my 4s, the answer would be 6. So I know part of my answer is 6, but I know I didn't divide into 24. I divided into 240. So I moved one place over on the place value chart, which means my quotient is going to move one place over on the place value chart. So 24 divided by 4 is 6, but I'm bringing that 0 over because I know that I am divided into the hundreds. Now, what was the basic fact that I used? Well, it was 24 divided by 4 equals 6. And I know 6 times 4 gives me 24. Okay? Questions? All right, this is what I would like for you to do. Either with your partner or on your own, I would like for you to do 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we will go over 5, 6, 7, and 8. Once we go over those, I would like for you, and your teacher may change this up, you're either going to do 9 through 23, or we're going to pick the ones that we want you to do, okay? So remember, this is mental math, so you really want to try to do this in your head. And I'll give you one example. When I look at this first one, when I look at 5, I'm going to see, is there anything that I can divide 5 into with 20? 20 divided by 5 is what? Well, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, 5 times 4 gets me 20. So I know that my answer has to be 4. But it's not just 4, because 5 times 4 is 20, and I want something that's going to give me 200. So I know that I have to add that extra 0 over here. Now I can check myself by saying, okay, 5 times 40 equals, well, I know 5 times 4 is 20. And when I bring that extra 0 over, that gives me 200. Okay, so today's lesson was about mental math for division 4.4G, and I want you to get this one completed, and then we'll talk to you about it. Bye, guys.